Right this way. 5 minutes, EJ.
Thanks, Ashley.
Sorry to trouble you, ma'am. We're nearing Rockport. That is your destination, yes?
Yes, it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some packing to do.
Ma'am, the towels and linens and other Pullman items are not to leave the train.
Are you calling me a thief?
I'm just doing my job, ma'am. If any of the items go missing, they take it out of our paycheck. I can't afford it, ma'am. I really can't. Not on $60 a month.
I demand to see a conductor.
Can I help you, ma'am? What's going on, EJ?
I was just asking the lady not to take any company items. She was stuffing them in her suitcase.
I'm gonna have to ask you to open the suitcase, ma'am.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Well, first, this George accuses me of being a thief. Now I'm being treated like one?
If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't mind opening the suitcase.
Oh, my God. I did not put that there. That is not mine. He planted those items in my luggage.
Why would he do that?
He's had it in for me from the start. He's one of those fresh Negroes attracted to white women. Yes, George did it. I want him reported to the company. He should be fired.
Oh my God, he's on the wrong side of the tracks. Oh my Lord, we're gonna get him!
There, go.
EJ, everything will be all right. All right? You gotta stay awake. Just stay awake. Ambulance is on its way, friend. The girl. Little girl is fine. Yes. Saved her life. She's fine.
I never agreed to this.
Signed, Mr. Randolph.
Oh, no. No, 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 no. I didn't agree to this.
What's that, Mr. Randolph?
To never organize the elevator operators into a union ever again. Or for that matter, organize any trade organization associated or presently employed by the members of the New York City Hotel Owners Association. That's not right. I didn't agree to this. Nor would I. Can't cut me off at the knees.
They agreed to it.
Is that so, Mr. Wheeler?
Sign, or we fire the lot of them.
Good day, gentlemen.
Randolph, how are your knees?
I'm still standing, sir. Still standing.
Messenger, by the messenger, right here. Get your red hot messenger. Oh, sir, would you like the messenger?
How are we doing, Bobby?
Not so good, Mr. Randolph. Not good at all.
Nary one?
Nary who?
Not one magazine sold.
Politics don't sell anymore, especially socializing or whatever it is.
Socialism.
Oh, yeah. People having too much fun for that.
Okay. Keep up the good work.
Messenger, get your messenger here.
Who is that handsome man? This handsome man is my husband. Hey, buddy. How are things going with that magazine of yours?
The Messenger.
Yes. My intellectual friends all read it.
How about you? Here, take this copy. My compliments. There's an interesting article about the Friends of Negro Freedom and a new poem by Claude McKay.
Wonderful.
Excuse me, Mrs. Walker.
I would have gotten you to pay for it, buddy.
The miracle would have been if she'd actually read it.
So, how did it go?
I'm out of a job. They blocked me from organizing against the hotel owners ever again.
Sounds like they're scared of you.
Oh, hardly.
Well, I'm sorry about the union. You worked so hard.
Oh, they went around me, negotiated a deal behind my back. Not a deal, really. More like a surrender. Maybe I'm the problem.
What do you mean?
Maybe I'm in over my head with this organizing. I'm going to focus on the magazine. Let that be my voice.
If you don't fight for unionism for our people, who will?
I'm done, buddy.
We'll talk later.
When George Pullman built this company after the Civil War, he said to himself, what can I do for the recently emancipated slaves? How can I carry on for Abraham? Lincoln was a friend of his, you know. He said to himself, I'll get them to work on my trains, on my sleeping cars. Hell, he knew what railroads meant to you people, a sign of freedom and escape, a future of movement and excitement. Not out in some field picking cotton. Traveling men.
Well, that's what we are, Mr. Davis, traveling men.
So what'd you travel here for? What can I do for you?
Well, it's about E.J. Daniels, sir.
We named the car after him, the Daniels. First and only Pullman car to honor a colored man. Now, what he did was heroic. There's no other word for it.
It's about his family, sir. They're not very well off. E.J. left them with very little, not that he had much to begin with. And we were wondering if the company could provide them with a little compensation for their loss.
They're getting a pension, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, $18 a month is hardly enough to support a wife and 5 children, not to mention a mother and sisters.
That might be difficult, boys. Might set a bad precedent. So we have standards for salaries, pensions, working hours, and your job as union rep is to support those standards, not to question them.
But the company has enough money.
Since when did you become an expert on Pullman finances, huh? Now, shall we call it a day? Mr. Desmond will escort you, gentlemen. Ashley, you stay here. We have some union business this way. Those men are being fired.
Fired? For what?
Insubordination, and I'd fire you too. But I like you. You've been here a long time, and you're very valuable to the company.
Mr. Davis, please, fire me. Don't fire them. Please, it's not right.
You better go now, Ashley.
It's off center here and here. So what we're going to want to do before we go to press is... Come in!
Randolph?
I'm in the back. Before we go to press, we're going to want to clean up this copy, here, and this ad. We're going to make small. Right?
Mr. Randolph. Nice to meet you. Yes, Ashley Totten.
Totten. Ashley Totten. I know that name.
Subscribe to your magazine.
Ah, that's right, of course. Don't tell me you didn't get the latest issue.
Oh, no, I did. I actually came to inquire about something else.
So when might that be?
I'd like to know if you're interested in unionizing the Pullman porters.
You want to fight the Pullman Company?
Hell no. I've got no other choice. Things have happened in the last few days that I can't live with.
To form a Negro union in one of the most powerful white corporations in the country, well, it's very difficult. I know, I've tried.
Well, that's why we need you. You have the knowledge, you have the experience to take them on.
Come walk with me.
This Barton Davis. He's Pullman's current president and chairman.
Well, he fired these other gentlemen. Why not you?
I'm the ERP rep. That's the company's phony union for us. You can't fire me. I'd take too pretty a picture.
How much support is there for this company union?
The meetings are sham. Everybody knows it. It's run by the company, not us. If one of our delegates votes against them or speaks up, he gets fired.
Do other porters feel as you do?
There's a lot of dissatisfaction. Salaries, working conditions, representation. I'm telling you, these men are ripe for a real union. An independent union.
Wouldn't one of your own be better suited for this job?
No. If one of us talks about unionizing, we get fired quicker than you can say Pullman.
Times are not good for labor activism.
Did you think it'd be easy? We got white unions forming all over this country. The white railroad conductors organized right under Pullman's nose. Don't we deserve a union?
I'm sorry. I can't help you. Good night, sir.
We're a member of the working class, but in a special category. We don't have any voice. We don't have any power. We're the victims of personal hatred.
And when we seek equity, we are howled down as scabs. And so you read Dubois.
Yes, I live by his words.
Do you think America is ready for a colored union?
I don't think America's ready for anything unless we make them ready. Mr. Randolph, please, get to know the porters. Find out what we're about. Write about us in your magazine. We need to be heard. Someone must hear our voice. Please.
I'll think about it. I was approached today by a Pullman porter who was interested in forming a union.
Listen, this is a union which will never be born.
Why?
To get a man who daily begs his living wage to become an activist, it's simply not possible.
Oh, please, James.
No, let him finish, Mother.
Look, you haven't been a porter. I have. And my name wasn't James Randolph. It was George. George. Shine my shoes. George.
What makes them different from everyone else?
The extent of their humiliation. A lifetime of bowing and then scraping. The hands cupped for tips.
They need the tips to supplement their meager incomes. Something like $60 a month.
It's not even a living wage.
I saw one bark like a dog for money.
Oh, you did not.
A white passenger showing off for his girlfriend offered him $1 to do it. And that porter grinned like a clown and started barking.
If you had to support a family on $60 a month, you'd bay at the moon for extra cash, too.
Why would not, big brother?
Oh, no son of mine is going to bark for anybody.
You're educated, baby brother. You have refined manners. You go to City College. You're fortunate.
Which is why he should know better than to disparage these men. He should support them.
You're the one they're asking for help. I don't see you jumping on the bandwagon.
I might be able to get a few articles out of it.
For a magazine nobody reads.
Now, James, you're being awfully harsh.
I'm not saying these porters can't organize, Mother. Perhaps they could. Though I doubt it would happen in our lifetime. Either way, I doubt Brother Asa has the taste for it. Cheers.
Newspaper?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Newspaper? Newspaper?
Oh, George,
Newspaper?
How did you know that man's name is George, Mother?
They're all named George, dear, after George Pullman. He's the man who invented these sleeping cars. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, George. I didn't hurt you, did I?
Like these back?
No, you shining polish those is good for me, boy. You do a good job and there'll be a tip in it for you. Is there a problem, George?
George, is there a problem?
No, sir.
Philadelphia! All aboard! All aboard!
Loading and unloading, we don't get paid for any of it. Get as much as 5 hours prep, we don't see a dime. And if the run's not full of passengers, we take the trip anyway, without pay.
Without pay?
It's called deadheading.
Because that's how you feel afterwards.
We're paid for full trains only, plus tips, of course.
Well, are the tips enough to make up for the time you're not on the clock?
Oh, hell no. We're doing double duty here for a third of the price.
Let's go, George! Get these bags up!
Yes, sir. Yes. Tell him about doubling out.
They send you on a trip, say for a long while, a week. You come back and the company can send you on the first train out. No rest period, nothing. And at a lower rate of pay. If you get caught unshaven or untidy or catching a couple of winks, you are fired on the spot. And if a porter complains about how customer treats him, porter gets fired. We learn not to complain. Customer's always right.
Some folks ride the train just to see how far they can push them.
That's the truth, man.
These working conditions for porters, they're utterly degrading.
Where'd you find this greenhorn, Ashley?
Hey, Riley.
Watch yourself, sir.
Have a good evening, sir. You requested a blanket?
Come in. Come in.
Where would you like me to put this, ma'am?
On the bed, please. Could you check to see if there's an earring drop down there?
Okay.
George. George.
No, I don't.
George. George, just you and me.
I have to get back to work.
Your work's right here, George. Be a good tip in it for you. George.
My name is not George. My name is Asa Philip Randolph. How many men can you get together in Harlem for a meeting?
Phil, you're all right.
How many men?
As many as you want. I can fill a room. Need a little time to set it up. Word of mouth. Does this mean you're ready to help us organize?
Yes, I want to join your cause. If you'll still have me.
That's the best news I've heard in some time.
I want to publish first. Then we get down to business. The Pullman porter seems to be made to order to carry the gospel of unionism in the colored world. His home is everywhere. His struggle is universal for justice, decent wages, and honorable working conditions. The days of ruthless exploitation and mistreatment at the hands of the Pullman Company are numbered. I have personally witnessed these events in the course of my own investigation.
Messenger, come get your messenger. Messenger's here. Right, messengers. Anybody want a messenger?
I'll take one, thank you.
There you go, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I'll take one.
It's got a very small circulation. Not small enough. The Post and the Times have already called for a comment.
Tell us about Randolph.
He's a failed Broadway actor turned socialist nut and street corner radical. He was arrested in Cleveland in 1918 and held for trial, charged with violating the Espionage Act for exhorting Negroes not to fight in a Great War. The Justice Department called him the most dangerous Negro in America.
Jesus. Where does he get his money?
His wife. She has a very successful beauty salon. So, what do you want me to do?
No one comments to the press. We act as if it doesn't even exist. In the meantime, you find out how Randolph got his information. Follow him. Follow his wife. Learn his intentions. I want to know what he's doing before he does. If indeed he is forming a union, we kill it now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I know this fella.
I'm going to introduce our guest speaker, the son of a preacher, a speaker, a writer, and a union organizer. Some, mostly enemies, will call him an agitator, a communist, a criminal. You will have to decide for yourselves. I give you Philip Randolph. My name is Philip Randolph. I am not a Pullman porter. I am not an employee of the Pullman Company. I publish a magazine, The Messenger, the world's greatest Negro monthly. You may have read recent issues addressing the plight of the Pullman porter and his mistreatment at the hands of company bosses, some of whom I'm sure are represented here by spies. Consequently, I will be the only speaker. If they don't like what I say, they can't fire me because I don't work for them. And they can't fire you because you didn't say anything. All you're doing is listening. And they can't fire you for that, no matter how powerful they think they are. What we need is a labor organization. And I'm not talking about the company's plan of employee representation, which is a sham union, and we all know it. I'm talking about a labor group, an independent labor group that can sit down with management and bargain for what's important for the worker. The first step is that everyone here decide to join this union. We need your dues, or we cannot accomplish our goals. And what are our goals? How about we start by abolishing the ERP? It doesn't represent you, and it never will. How about an end to the demeaning practice of tipping? How about a minimum monthly wage of $150? Conductors pay for conductors' work. That's the only thing. And most importantly, and I say this with all the conviction my soul can muster, that porters be treated like men. Free men! Free men! For that is what you are. Thank you.
How the hell are they getting them all in there? Let's find a phone.
The dues are $10 a year.
I'll give more if you need it.
Phil, this is Leon Fry. You remember him?
Oh, yes, of course. It's a pleasure to see you again. Quite an education you gave me. And this is the Mrs.? How you do, madam? Philip Randolph.
That was a stirring speech you gave last night.
Well, thank you, kindly.
I was born a slave, you know. North Carolina. I saw Sherman march to the sea.
Honey, he doesn't want to hear your history. There's folks waiting.
My old man was one of the first porters hired by George Pullman. And I followed in his footsteps.
Did you ever think this day would come?
Never. Hell, I was just glad to have a job.
We're thrilled to have you along with us. It's an honor, sir. Here's your card. Make sure you sign that.
Thanks, brotherhood.
Move along, Leon.
This union's gonna work.
Anything I can do, buddy?
I hadn't expected so many.
Come on in here.
Send them over to the shop. I'll take their names and their money.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I want to help.
Well, you may change my luck. Welcome to the union.
Welcome to the Ladies Auxiliary, performing on behalf of the Brotherhood.
Well, that's no problem. That's what we're here for. Help you fill out these applications. Other questions? Yes. All right, here's a pen.
A to M at Lucille's table and N to Z over here with James and me. What is it, James?
This gentleman over there says you're too young to be Phil's mother. Says you must be the sister.
Get in line, fresh boy.
570 original members of the Brotherhood. Times 10, that means we have almost $6,000 collected. What we need to do now, gentlemen, is allocate that money and determine how it's to be spent.
What about your salary?
What about it?
Oh, it's a full-time job, isn't it?
I'll take a nominal fee, $10 a week. That money's gonna go quickly once we kick into gear. I want some of it to go to those porters who were fired. And we're gonna need regional offices, fundraisers, membership drives. There's over 10,000 porters out there just dying to hear from us.
Dad, you're gonna be able to recruit in Oakland.
No problem. A lot of boys out there will want to join.
Yeah, it's a pity Webb couldn't make it.
Who's Webb?
Milton Webster. He's a porter out of Chicago.
Nearly half the porters in the country work out of Chi-Town.
Yeah, he's a Windy City power broker. He used to be a bailiff. A lot of porters out there, they listen to him.
Why didn't he come?
Yeah, let's just say Webb is an independent kind of man. You know, he knows he's got clout, and he knows we need him.
So I should go to him?
Well, I think our union coffers could afford a ticket to Chicago. All those in favor say aye.
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 No, Britain's not giving her no money.
Hello. I'm looking for Milton Webster.
He expecting you?
Yes, I've just arrived from New York.
New York? Are you kidding me? Come on. Hey, Webb. This fella says he's here to see you.
And send him over, baby.
Phil Randolph.
Yeah. So, what do you want to drink, man? They got booze in the back.
A little early for a drink. It's been a long journey. I'm a bit famished. I might have something to eat.
Okay.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Girl, I just can't take my eyes off you. How you get to be so fine? Why don't you rub some of that fineness off on all these ugly gals I see running around this boy? They sure did name you right. Miss Sweet and Me.
Oh, you a married man.
I'm just checking out the menu. Something he ought to be doing. Tell you what, give him a steak and a mess of eggs on me.
Make those eggs sunny side up.
So what's your story?
Well, you may have heard about our little gathering in New York.
Yeah, I heard.
We're gaining momentum, accumulating memberships throughout the country from...
Tell them I don't need that up there.
From here, I'll be headed out to the coast.
Yeah? So you think Pullman's just gonna sit back and take it, huh?
Once we're the bona fide bargaining agent for the Porters, Pullman will have to sit down with us.
Pullman don't have to do shit.
If you're frightened of taking on the company.
I'm not frightened of them. I'm frightened of you. You're one of these new Negro types, ain't you? Huh? Like we producing a brand new human, a robot or something. Let me see your hands. These the hands of a porter? I didn't think so. You're one of those erudite intellectuals. You don't play to win. You play to look good by losing. And you know just what the hell I'm talking about, too. The United Brotherhood of Elevator and Switchboard Operators, the Journeyman Bakers and Confectioners Union, the Friends of Negro Freedom, all union and trade organizations you formed and failed.
At least I'm trying. What exactly are you doing towards forming a union?
Listen to the way you talk, man. I got nothing in common with you.
I have friends in the AFL in Washington, both Republican and Democrat. Why can't we help each other?
They come after you yet, huh? Because they're going to, you know. And they'll come hard. You ain't seen nothing till you seen Pullman pissed off. They did it to me when I tried to form a union. And they'll do it to you.
I'm ready for them.
You got a mistress. Peace on the side. You like boys? Or are you a dope-smoking communist? Whatever your secret life, they'll find it out. And it'll be all over the papers.
There's nothing they can find out of me.
Probably not. You seem to lack the imagination for such things.
Well, this has certainly been a waste of time. I control this union, whether you like it or not. I have the contacts, I'm not a porter, and I can't be intimidated by you or Pullman. So, if you're scared to form a union, please, stay out of the way. Good day.
Look here, man. I got to know you. I got to know how tough you are, because if you ain't, we're dead, all of us. Look here, man. Nobody got anything in this country unless they took it. Hell, I admire the white man. He wanted Manhattan Island, gave the Indians a bottle of whiskey, and he took it. White folks died, suffered, sacrificed. Took a country and built it up. Yeah, they brought us over here in chains. We know that. We're still in chains. They're a tad lighter, but they're still chains. And the only way those chains are going to get broke is if we break them. Ain't nobody else going to do it for us.
I thought I was the radical.
We're the same, you and me. I just like money and pussy more than you do. I heard about that meeting, man. I heard you said some real nice things.
So what is this about?
We just need to talk, actually. How's the family?
Sit down. Disappointed in you. Very disappointed.
Mr. Davis, what are you talking about?
Mind you, I've got spies up and down that organization of yours.
Okay, I went to a meeting to see what it was about.
You recruited Randolph.
Mr. Davis.
After all I did for you, you'd think you could have some loyalty to the company. Do you know what would happen if it got out what you did? The socialists and the communists you've been involved with. You'd never work again.
Mr. Davis,
No, I'm not finished. Did you ever think of your family?
Be here on vacation, huh? Full house. Come on with Hold on, Red.
Webb, you got a call.
Put that hand down. Sorry, boys, my secretary's out today. Yes. Yeah, this is Webb.
Yeah, this is Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. Hey, kind of late on the East Coast, ain't it?
Listen, I'm trying to find Phil. Do you have any idea where he might be?
He's supposed to come through tomorrow morning.
And you are picking him up.
What am I, taxi service or something?
You are picking him up, aren't you?
Am I?
Glad to know it. So what time's his train get in? What time?
Why don't you send some other jerk to pick him up? Hell, I don't know. Probably the 7:40 at Englewood Station.
5:40, Inglewood Station. Good. Have him give me a call when he gets a chance. I've got to go.
Hey, Webb, what's wrong?
5:40. I told him 7:40. Why is he talking out his ass?
Mr. Randolph, Philip Randolph. Police, you're going downtown. Put your hands behind your back. You look after your bags.
Well, what's this all about? Come with me, Randolph.
Hey! Wait a minute, what's going on?
I'm taking my prisoner.
You're prisoner.
Here's my badge. Call downtown if you want.
You wait a second.
That probably wouldn't be a good idea. You might piss off some important people. He's my prisoner. You brought a photographer. Come on, smile, man. What's the picture? Smile. It's a nice sunshiny day. We'll take it from here.
How did you know?
Ashley tipped me off. They were going to make a criminal out of you, Chief.
On what charge?
This is Chicago. Don't need no charge. Splash a photo of you under arrest, and it's the end of the Brotherhood. I told you Pullman would fight dirty. Well, it started. We're going to war. We're going to war.
There's the sewing clothes.
Ladies. Welcome to the sewing club. Now, ladies, we have a lot of work on our hands, so let's get right to it.
Waterman?
Thank you very much.
Get off the train.
I ain't getting off this train. I'm busy.
Get off this train. We'll kick your ass, boy.
I said I'm busy.
Sir, please.
How's your leg? I'll see you again! You hear me? I'll see you again!
There you go. Patronize this. There you go. There you go. Right here. Check it out, man. Yeah, here, man. Thank you. Come on. Right here. You not telling me to stop. The money's going to Russia. Right here. Stop first. Don't go inside the store here. Mama.
What's the meaning of this? Who put you up to this? Do you know what this means? What it says?
It says that you and your husband are Bolsheviks. Is it true?
No, of course not. Emily, Emily? Where are you going? Emily, I'm not done with you yet. I'll come back when you're not so busy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, stay on out there. Money's going out of country. I don't believe it. Hey, you, sir, your money's going to Russia.
I'm sorry this has happened.
2 days in a row now, nothing but cancellations and no-shows. Emily Walker told me they called her at home, told her she shouldn't patronize me. How long's it gonna last, buddy? I still owe on half the equipment in here.
I know that.
How long?
I can't believe the company is sinking.
See, in all the struggles, all the battles, this is the first time they ever come after me.
Lucille, I'm so sorry.
Do I stay open? Do I let them go? Do I advertise? Do I go to the newspapers? Do I plead innocent? How do you fight something like this?
Okay, well, get me their names and we'll do what we can. Yes, I know. That's 30 porters fired in St. Louis for attending a regional membership meeting.
Smith just got arrested down in Florida.
What's the charge?
Preaching social equality in the South. I told his lawyer would send bail, get him back up here quick. If he stays there, those crackers will lynch him for sure.
Get him up here.
No, wait. By my account, that is 54 porters fired thus far.
We keep in touch with them all. Hire as many as we can.
Hire them? For what?
As employees of the union. Once we're recognized, we can then demand that they get the jobs back.
And if we don't get recognized?
Did you think it'd be easy? Huh?
It's against your own rules. Bylaws of the ERP state. No firings without just cause.
Depends on what your definition of just
Well, I
cause
checked the
is.
books, and each and every one of them is allowed a hearing. Each and every one.
You come in here acting as an ERP representative when you and Randolph are out forming a new union. Now, what kind of fool do you take me for? You've been lying all along. That's it. You're fired.
You can't fire all of us. Who are you going to get to work your cars?
Never been a problem. There's still people out there who value honest work.
Not at Pullman. Not in this office.
This is a white man's country. White people run it. We'll keep running it. This company will never sit down around a table with Randolph or any other colored.
I'm saying we've got porters who want to join. But they're worried the company's going to find out and go after them. Just like the company did to me in Oakland.
They've got inside information.
You damn straight they do. And I'm gonna find out who it is, and I'm gonna kill it with my bare hands.
I don't want any violence going on.
I'm a man, Chief. Anybody hits me, I'll hit his ass right back.
We should get weapons and fight back.
Let's get some guns and then deal with them.
Pullman will be sure to publicize any violent acts, and we can't afford that kind of publicity.
Violence is not the answer. There are porters across this country sitting home right now, crying in their wives' arms, wondering how they're going to pay their rent and feed their babies.
Exactly. The only way to get those jobs back is to continue to form this union. Now, I want to go to the AFL.
The AFL?
Yes, the AFL, and see if they'll help us out. Do you have any other suggestions besides violence? Huh? Webb. Okay, we're going to call it a night. I'll be in touch with everyone else about the time and agenda of the next meeting.
I'll go talk to Webb.
Please go talk to the man, because the more he runs his mouth,
I hear Lucille's business is dropping.
Yeah, it's down to a
I'm gonna tell you something, Ash. I don't want to hear it. We got a fucking rat among us, and when I find him, I'm gonna throw him off a fucking roof. Webb.
Is there anything I can do?
No, I appreciate it, but thank you.
You know I'm there for you.
Good night.
Good night.
You know what I mean? The next time Pullman's boys fuck with me, I'm gonna shoot one of them.
Phil,
Yeah, this close to losing everything.
I need to talk with you privately.
Phil has his place. Phil's real smooth. But this shit calls for violence. Violence, that's the only thing they understand. We gotta wait it out.
These new members got to be protected.
Yeah, you're right. The list must remain strictly confidential. I need someone to hold it for me. Can you do that?
If you want.
I appreciate that.
All right, hold it right there. All right, here it comes.
Lucille? Lucille, we'll get your business back. Hmm? Okay, honey? All right.
Hell, I didn't think they'd let us in the front door.
If that's going to be your attitude, we're not going to get very far.
Hello. I am late. I apologize.
Don't worry about it, please. Meet my associate, Milton Webster.
Ah, yes, Chicago. Chicago, I've heard a lot about you.
Yeah, I heard about you, boss.
I'll get right to it, Mr. Green. We're here today to ask for affiliation with the American Federation of Labor. With our present membership, we're in a position to make a case to the Railway Mediation Board that we represent the majority of the porters. I've written the RMB to obtain a hearing to make our case, and they don't respond.
Have you called them?
Repeatedly. They don't take my calls.
See, a fellow might get the impression they don't like us. Of course, they wouldn't be the first to give us that impression.
I am not proud of this organization's prejudiced attitude. I know that's what you're referring to. By meeting with you here today, I am hoping that we can chip away at some of that. Now, I believe in your union. The Brotherhood must not fail. I've tried to help you in the past, Philip. I admire your resilience.
Resilience? I hope that's a virtue.
But if I present the AFL in this present climate, a vote on the Brotherhood becoming affiliated with us, you will lose. And that is not going to help your chances of getting a hearing.
Then we have only one other recourse.
Well, what is it?
A strike.
A strike?
It's the only power any union has.
Philip, you are not a recognized union. Not by Pullman, not by anybody.
If 6,000 porters walked off the job tomorrow, they'd take notice, believe me.
What if they fire them all?
It'd upend their entire operation. They can't fill those jobs.
A strike is not going to make things any easier with the RMB. In fact, they'll write you off.
They're writing us off now.
It is too risky. I don't want to see you blow this with a premature strike. Now, a strike is just a last resort. That's all it is.
I'll see how we can get around this.
Phil, I'll tell you what, don't strike. Not yet. Let me call Ed Morrow. He's the former governor of Kentucky. He's currently presiding over the mediation board. Tell him that we're meeting, that we're talking. I'll recommend to them that at the very least, they should sit with you and hear you out.
You do that?
Absolutely.
You'll see from our regional membership rolls, voting records, dues collection, and Brotherhood newsletter that we can support our contention that we represent over half the porters in the country. One can only conclude from the records and evidence presented that we are justified in presenting ourselves as the only true bargaining agent for the welfare of the porters.
Thank you, Mr. Randolph. We're now going to hear from the representative of the Pullman Company.
Distinguished gentlemen, Mr. Governor, we have proof, sir, that porters are listed in attendance at Brotherhood meetings when, in fact, our records show they're on the job. How can a man be working the Jersey line and at that precise moment be voting in a meeting in Newark?
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's impossible, sir. Now, these votes, these members, these meetings are all a fabrication. The membership of the Brotherhood is 1/10 of what Mr. Randolph and the others are claiming. The ERP is the only representative of the Pullman porters, not the Brotherhood.
The ERP is a sham.
It's a company union run by Pullman executives. You tell him, Mr. Dibs. You tell him how you fired me.
We'll have some order in this room, please.
These are true and authentic votes representing the membership. If a porter showed up at a meeting to vote, the company would use the same tactic they've used all along to try and kill this union. They'd fire them. This process is the only way to ensure that porters keep their jobs and participate in the union they support.
Thank you, Mr. Randolph. Mr. Randolph, this vote by proxy process of yours raises a lot of questions. Who's to say that people voting at these meetings were representing porters who possibly weren't even aware they were in the Brotherhood? Now, the Pullman Company records, on the other hand, reveal actual porter attendance and votes at ERP functions. No stand-ins, no proxies. That leaves me no choice but to confirm the ERP as the designated representative.
Don't do that, Webb.
Meeting's adjourned.
Webster, we said we wouldn't do this.
Great job. Done it again.
Of course, we're disappointed by the decision, but we have no choice but to fight on. Our members wouldn't have it any other way.
How many members do you have, really?
I'm happy to present you with the same figures I gave Governor Morrow. We represent over 6,000 porters, 53% of the Pullman workforce. These numbers alone give us the proper authorization to represent their interests.
Since you lost here today, what are you going to do? Will you strike?
You know, if the Pullman Company paid the porters half of what they spend on sabotaging the union, there'd be no need for me, and there'd be no need for a strike. Good day, gentlemen.
One more question.
I don't know, man. Times are hard. We can't be talking about a strike.
We'll put it to a vote. If the men don't want it, they'll vote against it.
They're expecting a vote.
What is it with you, man? Why you so fired up about a strike? Is it the old lefty in you? You gotta stand down the capitalists?
I seem to recall a gentleman who wanted to go get some guns and deal with them.
Yeah, that's right. But that was before the economy went downhill. You heard what the man Green said. It's too risky to call a strike. The AFL won't back you. Nobody will.
Just the threat of a strike may be enough. I've seen it work before. If 6,000 or 7,000 porters vote to go on strike, Pullman will come running to the table. We may not even have to go out. What do you think?
We want to talk strike, fine. But be prepared to go all the way. We need a big fat treasury.
Ashley! Hit him again! Hit him again! Ashley! Boy, you want to start a union? Stop the union talk, boy! Hit him with the pipe! Take this back to Mr. Randolph! Yeah!
Let's go, boys.
Come on, let's go.
Ashley. Jesus Christ, man. The fuck did they do to you? Ashley. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Ashley.
Should I go back to the hospital?
No, you should stay right here and get your rest. I spoke with the doctor. And he said that he says that Ashley's spine is injured.
Oh my God.
cops say it was a robbery. Can you believe that? They knew he was there, they were waiting for him, and they ambushed him.
So a spy?
Look, we gotta stop screwing around, man. We gotta smoke him out.
Yes.
There he is, like clockwork.
That him?
Mm-hmm. There's that son of a bitch.
Come and talk to him about 2 times a week.
And you say it's the second time this week?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Phil's gonna love hearing about this.
Well, how long have you known? Just a few days. I wanted to be sure, so I tailed him myself. He's as guilty as the day is long. I can't believe this. You think I'm happy? Look, we've got to take care of it. Think of the damage he's done. Think of Ashley.
Okay, let's go confront him.
What do you think? I think that was about the 3rd time.
Gentlemen.
There he is, everybody. There's the spy. The rat. We know you're the one. I've had people watching, following you for days. I saw you myself, Leon.
How can you say Leon did that? How dare you? Tell him you didn't do it. Tell him the truth, Leon. Tell him the truth.
I did it. I did it. You don't know how it was. You don't understand.
No.
I was a slave. Slave. And then when I got my freedom, what did it mean? Freedom to get kicked out in the world. Freedom to go wandering from town to town looking for a handout. What kind of freedom is that?
Anything's better than chains.
How would you know? I knew. So up comes George Pullman offering jobs to Negroes. Jobs. We couldn't believe our ears. Pullman was the only one who stepped up. There was no brotherhood, no Philip Randolph, no union, no nothing that offered me a job. It was George Pullman.
Nobody's taking your job away.
The company man told me Randolph is going to take you all out on a strike. You're going to lose your jobs. Then who's going to hire you? Nobody, that's who.
If you don't want to be in the union, don't be in the union. But why'd you have to spy for them?
'Cause they asked me.
Ashley Totten's in the hospital, barely hanging on thanks to you.
I had nothing to do with that.
Bullshit!
Selena, where are you going?
As far as I can get from you. How could you, Leon? I go to ladies' auxiliary meetings, and he'd ask me all about him. I thought it was because he cared, because he was part of something like I was. But no, he was spying on me. On me, his own wife of 43 years. Mr. Webster, would you be kind enough to give me a lift?
Sure, if that's what you want, ma'am.
Selena, I had no choice.
Oh, you had a choice, Leon. You had a choice.
Have you seen our latest bank statement? You're paying the rent on the union offices out of our private funds.
We'll get through it.
We have no money. Now, I've put together all our old clothes and I'll get what I can for them, but we need a salary, a steady income. You need to start thinking about us, how we're going to survive.
They're my socks. I only have one pair. and the rest of my things.
Haven't you heard anything I've said?
I'm sorry. I'm headed out on the midnight train. This depression is killing our membership. People aren't paying dues. Everybody's too scared to even talk about a strike.
That's because they have lives, Phil. They have wives and children and family to consider before the Brotherhood. Can't you understand that?
Sure, I understand that. Doesn't mean I'm not going to go talk to them. I have to.
Well, who's going to pay for your ticket? Where are you going to stay? You've depleted our funds on union business. If we had children, If we'd had children, you wouldn't do this.
You're probably right. But we don't have children, Lucille. And it's nobody's fault. It just didn't work out for us. So what we're doing is we're helping others so that their children can have a future. Raise our people up. And if that means that we suffer in the meantime, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I'm leaving now. The reason we're in a depression is because there's been too much money and too much greed in the hands of too few. It is the money barons that brought about this depression, not hard-working folks looking for a decent wage. Big business is especially vulnerable now. Not us. They're the ones that stand to lose everything. We already have. Now is the time to hit them with our demands in the pocketbook where it hurts. We back off now, we'll never get their attention.
Yeah, sure. I can get it for you. Hold on.
The newspapers are writing
Hey,
about
Phil,
us.
sorry to interrupt. Your wife's on the phone.
Well, we're in the...
She said it was urgent.
Okay, Dad, would you explain our position on Philly? Excuse me, please.
Okay. Now, Brother Randolph was saying Philadelphia.
Buddy?
I've got some bad news, buddy. I've got some terrible news. James tried to call you earlier, but we didn't know where you were staying, so we couldn't.
What is it?
Your mother. She passed away last night in her sleep.
Oh, Lord.
James is making funeral arrangements, son. We don't have much. It's gonna be simple.
I know how much she would appreciate your being there. I'm scheduled to speak in Detroit tomorrow, then Cincinnati. I don't have fare to get back to New York and make those trips.
We'll handle it.
What kind of funeral are you gonna have?
Oh, whatever we could afford. Well, now you know Mama didn't care about money. I think that was the best lesson she ever taught us.
Well, how are you holding up?
Oh, I thought I was going to try to be strong for you, but I'm not doing a very good job.
I'm gonna hang up now.
Are you all right?
You'll be fine. I love you.
I love you.
You all right, Phil?
That's it, Phil. You know, a little bourbon, go home, get a little rest, everything's gonna be all right. Look, thanks. We passed the hat around, you know, figuring you might need some fare to get back to New York and all, you know.
accept this. I'm not going back for the funeral. It's too expensive.
Mrs. Randolph is our concern, too. She was there the first night you spoke about the Brotherhood. She helped join folks up.
Phil, she's a part of it, man. There's nothing personal here. We're all in this together.
I'm sorry. I can't accept this. I appreciate your sentiments. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. I gotta go.
We're with you on the strike, you understand? You can count on us. You take this money, you use it for the Brotherhood. A fight to the finish.
Yeah.
No.
Randolph? Philip Randolph?
Get you, Randolph.
Eddie, no.
Get you good.
Do I know you? Stop.
I'm the damn corner you claim to represent. I lost my job because of you. Get your hands off of me.
I'm sorry.
You think a big shot like you know what's best for him?
Please.
You don't know nothing, man. Nothing.
Eddie.
I got kids, man. I'm all right.
Across the country, they look at me with blank faces. They can't pay their dues. We can't pay the rent on the regional offices. We can't pay our bills. I'm just a damn fool. A dreamer. This is work for someone else. Another generation.
I was wrong. We've come too far to quit now. You're not gonna walk away from this one. There are no more struggles, no more fights.
This one I win or die trying.
Easy. Yeah. That's it.
Got it?
You got it.
Okay, what else we check out here?
Okay, be careful with that one.
Yes.
Don't worry, Chief. Just a little setback, that's all. All it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
No, we're not gonna get it back. We're gonna get something much better.
Last mail, baby.
Something bigger. Suitable to a national union. New furniture and offices for all our union personnel.
Yeah, you said it, Chief. You said it.
Hey.
So what's the deal?
I just don't get it.
Get what?
What is it, buddy?
Resign from the Brotherhood and Pullman will recognize the union and sign an agreement there too. Here is a small token of our appreciation. 10,000, that's a lot of scratch, Chief.
Well, if they're willing to recognize the Brotherhood, isn't that what we want?
If you quit and take that money, they won't stand by the deal.
It's a trap to discredit me. But it's not your decision or mine. We have an obligation to present this to the membership. It's no secret that the Pullman Company objects to dealing with me. And now the company has come along and offered to negotiate an agreement and recognize the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters on one condition: that I resign. Of course, I'm perfectly willing to resign if the company makes a bona fide agreement with the Brotherhood and recognizes it fully and completely, just as other white railroad unions are recognized. But I cannot resign, and I will not resign without first discussing it with all of you. You are my employers. It's up to you to determine whether or not you need me.
What do you want?
You may depend upon me to see to it that nothing will be done except that which will securely and legally, completely and absolutely bring victory to the Brotherhood.
What about a strike? I mean, we were supposed to go on a strike.
Yeah!
Weren't we supposed to go on a strike?
The membership didn't support a strike, and I can't say as I blame them. There's a depression on. Times are hard. Folks are barely getting by. But a strike is immaterial now. The company has offered to deal if I go.
There's a rumor going around that they're offering you a cash settlement. $10,000 if you step out of the line of fire. Is that what's going on here? Are you selling us out?
All I'm interested in is advancing the cause of this union.
And a little tip in the old bread bin won't hurt the home size outfit.
This is not about money.
You're lying, man. Tell them the truth.
This is not about money.
Are they giving you the money or not?
Hey, Phil. You gonna tell him, or you want me to?
I was sent a $10,000 check by the Pullman Company. With an offer that if I quit, they will make a deal to recognize the union. I enclosed that check in an envelope and sent it back to the Pullman Company. Listen to me now. I sent it back to the Pullman Company with a note explaining that I'll take up the issue of my leaving with the membership. And regardless of the decision, they can keep their money.
Yeah! We need proof! Prove it!
Hey, look, y'all, look. I was with the man when they sent him the check. And I personally witnessed Phil Randolph return it back to Pullman.
Hey, how do we know you two ain't split the take, huh?
Yeah!
Y'all know me. Every one of you in this room, y'all know me. If I say Phil Randolph returned that check back to Pullman, he returned it back. Mister, don't make me come down there and whip your ass.
Whoa. Wait a minute. All of you, stop it. I've got something to say here.
Oh, look here. Hey, turn around. Hey, Ashley. Are we gonna let the bastards who did this to me tell us who our leaders should be? No. Never again.
No.
Is the white man gonna tell us who our leaders should be?
No.
Shut up! Shut up, one more thing. To all of you. Phil stays. Phil stays.
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
Philip Randolph. Good to see you. What brings you to Washington?
The amendment to the Railway Labor Act.
Ah.
I've spoken to a few congressmen, but I'm having a devil of a time getting others to talk to me.
Well, Washington is still a southern town, Phil, but believe me, behind closed doors, a lot of them are sympathetic.
What happens when it's time to vote?
Well, no, that's anybody's guess, isn't it? Listen, Phil, I've got an idea. Now, I haven't talked to anybody about this yet, but with Roosevelt's new labor policy, things are changing all over, including the AFL.
So what are you saying?
I think I can get us to recognize you publicly. Make you members of the American Federation of Laborers. Now, things are moving fast with the new president. We're going to have to do some backroom dealing.
I believe in the back room.
Good. Now, it's contingent upon proof that the Brotherhood represent more than 50% of the importers. Can you put together the paperwork?
That's easy.
Good. Then I can maneuver on my end.
Well, it's got to happen soon before Congress votes.
I'm off to New York tonight. I'll get started on it right away.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Bill.
Phil, you've held out against incredible odds. Now we got to nail him down.
No, I got it right here in front of me. AFL to recognize Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. Now, what the hell is that?
It's just what it says. We are inviting the porters to join the Federation.
But why? I mean, what did I ever do to you, huh? When you let the conductors join the AFL, did we squawk? Did we cause any trouble?
No, and I trust you'll do the same here.
Well, if we let these people organize, we're in for a heap of trouble. All of us.
Barton, times have changed. Everybody deserves a chance here.
This fella Randolph is going to organize the whole Negro race. He's going to disrupt everything.
Philip Randolph is a man of monumental integrity. I stand by him, and so does the AFL.
We're going to lobby Congress hard on this one, Bill. We're going to fight this railway amendment.
Well, now that's your right, isn't it, Barton? Good night.
Now, I like the part when the little boy says, "Oh, I ain't never seen a pig that big
Oh,
before."
the Negro theater has so far to go. It's essentially...
Mrs. Randolph?
I'd like to enter my apartment if you don't mind.
I'll be right in.
I've been authorized to give this to you. A blank check. Redeemable up to 6 figures. If I were you, I'd go all the way up to $999,999.
And what does Pullman want for buying me?
You're to abandon the Brotherhood. Tonight. No more union activity. Ever.
Tell Barton Davis the Railway Labor Act is going to pass.
That could be. But you'll stop the petitions and the signatures because you'll be off spending your newfound wealth.
The passage of that act will force a vote from the porters. You can't stop it.
Take the money, Randolph, while you're still ahead. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, just keep signing up, man. We're gonna make this thing work.
Hey, boy, get that bike out of here.
Oh, that's my news boy, my messenger. Go on with it, man. The message is as clear as day.
All right. Yes. Socialist nut, we said. Street corner radical, we said. Couldn't form a dog catchers union, we said. Well, he's put together nearly 10,000 signatures and presented to Washington. Now, what do we say?
With the Railway Act, the decree will come down any day now on a vote on who should be authorized to represent the porters. The ERP or the Brotherhood.
Those 10,000, are they all porters?
Yes, sir.
10,000 men named George. So what do you suggest?
Mass firings, as many Brotherhood members as we can comfortably get rid of without disrupting operations.
There's 10,000 signatures. They'll still win the vote.
Delay it. We'll keep firing them. Every week, more firings. They'll get the message.
Who are we going to use for porters? Us? Linen and shoe polish are not my specialties.
We can hire Mexicans and Filipinos. Those people can balance scrape with the best of them.
Our porters have to be able to speak English.
I've looked into that. With the proper training, we can replace the fire porters within 6 weeks.
Only one reason why the Brotherhood is so important to you. See, now you're gonna get what you're worth. You're gonna be paid for what you're worth. You have a family. You have kids. You're gonna leave for the future. Leave this Brotherhood. Why don't you go grab you some of this stuff?
Fire him, man. How can you get that? That's some bullshit. You know it's bullshit. Fired from the house.
Where? What's going on?
Look, our people are registered. They're coming out to vote, and now Pullman claims they're fired as of yesterday. They say they can't vote.
No. Let him through. Excuse me. I'm Phil Randolph of the Brotherhood. Man, you're gonna have a riot on your hands. These men are registered and authorized to vote.
But many of the men were fired as of last night.
Well, that's impossible. They can't be fired without proper review. And until that time, they are still employees. Why have they been asked to report if not to vote?
How long we gotta wait, man? A lot of these guys are working and their trains are pulling out.
Other polling stations will
No. The rules are clear-cut. Each porter is registered at a particular station. That's where they're listed. That's where they're gonna vote.
You better make up your mind, boy, or all hell's gonna break loose.
And we're not gonna be able to stop it.
All right, just make sure there's
there's
no violence, and we'll begin the voting.
Let's vote!
I'll make sure the timer's fair.
Let's go! Let's vote!
All right, okay, make sure there's no violence.
Let's vote!
Start the polling.
Come on, let's vote! Time to vote! Time to vote! Come on, let's go!
Let's go, line up.
Come in.
Hello? Yes, this is he. It's quite all right. I was not asleep. Thank you. Well, buddy, it looks like I still have a job. We won in a landslide.
This company will never sit down around a table with Randolph or any other colored.
Do you think America is ready for a colored union?
Someone must hear our voice.
This one I win or die trying.
And the only way those chains are going to get broke is if we break them.
That porters be treated like men, free men. Let's vote!
All right, okay, make sure there's no violence.
Let's
We'll
vote!
start the polling. I'll make sure.
Come on, let's vote!
take a photo.